Hi, I'm Patty with StudioR12 Stencils. Today I'm going to show you how to use tile stencils to make an all-over pattern background on a tall porch sign. We have our tall porch sign board, and as always, remember to dry fit your stencil. I have literally had the wrong size board for the wrong size stencil. So we just lay that out, make sure we approve of the fit. That looks perfect. So now we have to prep our board. We have a couple of knots here. You can you leave them alone, but let me show you what they look like. This is one of our probably 5-year-old tall porch signs. And these did not show when we painted it, but they come through the paint if you don't prime the knot correctly. And so I have them all the way down this board up here. So very important step. So let me show you how. We keep that tall porch sign around just so that we can show. All right, so we have the Zinsser's Bullseye Shellac. It comes in a can and a spray. And if you use, today is like 7 degrees, so I'm not going to be spraying because you want to do that outside. But you can use the spray. I do actually prefer the spray better, but I don't have that choice. So the first thing we want to do is either shake up your can or stir. So I'm going to stir. Oh yeah, can you see it from the overhead? That was settled. You don't want to use your brushes and your foam brushes with this, so I have a technique I'm going to show you. Okay, so making sure. And then just dry that off. And then I'm going to use my paper towel that I just did that with a fold top sandwich bag as my glove. These make the handiest little gloves. And I'm just going to dip and apply over the knots. Now you could also do all over if you want it to. Okay, now we let that dry. Now that we have our primed knots, we are going to shake our white. I'm going to use a foam roller. That makes quick work. I'm actually going to show you how to stencil with a roller in a little while as well. I'm going to choose not to do anything with my sides because I don't know what I'm going to do on the back side of my board. So you want to do something that's complementary to your board edges. When you're drying in between coats, you can use one of the flat top baggies to store your roller in, and you just roll it up on top of that. And then it'll be fresh and ready for me when I put my next coat on. Okay, we have 3 coats of paint on our board. And now we're gonna take this little tiny stencil and we're gonna show you how to tile it so that it makes a repeating pattern all the way down the board. What we're gonna do is use some tools. I have a T-square. I have a triple threat Ghost Rider. It has a gray lead roller ball with no ink, white lead, and it has an eraser on the back end. So we're going to measure and mark so that we know where to put our tiles. All right, so first we have to find out what middle is. And these boards are always not 12 inches. So this is 11 and 2 little lines. So we're gonna go 5.5 and 1 little line. And then we'll use our bigger T-square and we'll flip it over and then give us a line to follow, really soft. So we are going to line it up, and I'm gonna line it up and then back it up just a teeny bit so I don't have them overlapping. Actually, it looks like we might get this with exactly lining it up on this edge of the wood. Gets me right about where I wanna be. Tape in 2 places. Load, offload, and swirl. Okay, now let's take a peek and see if we like the color choice. So I'm going to hold my stencil down, and that's really soft. I think I'll do a second coat, but I think that's the color that I like. One thing about these tile stencils, we have them in, I want to say maybe between like 7 and 11 tile sizes so that we have them so they line up perfectly with real ceramic tiles. So if you have a maybe dated kitchen, you could wash everything, prime it with a good primer for tile, and then you could retile a new pattern over your stencils, over your tiles. And you could also use these on walls, you can use them on floors, use them on all the things. They're very, very, very cool. And then background patterns for tall porch signs. Okay, so take this one off. And ta-da, there's one complete tile. Okay, and then we just repeat all the way down our pattern. And now you make sure that you rotate it so that you're starting on the right position. And sometimes it can help you just to line it up with a complete one so that you know what you're doing next. Okay, here's the next round. And then we just carry on. So don't you love how fast you can get these patterns on here with a stencil? If you had to trace this or base this and do all of that stuff, that would be kind of a nightmare. So I just love how easy stencils make painting. All right, now I'm gonna finish this up and I'll be back with you. Okay, I've gotten all the way down my board and I have just a little bit left over. So what can you do with this? Number one, you can go ahead and line up your stencil and just finish it with a partial. That's no problem. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly lined up. You could space a little bit bigger in between so that you leave a little bit of extra to get all the way down to the bottom. Do your dry fit and just check it all out. That seems like a lot of work to me. So, or you could just chop the bottom of your board off because we know that my welcome will fit on that. So those are the options that you have. I'm going to go ahead and just paint this. And that looks just fine. Okay. So, ta-da! And now it's time to put on our words. Once again, dry fit. Find the middle of your board. You can use your T-square once again. Get just a kind of, this is 3 inches-ish. And at 3 inches-ish, I could drop it down just a teeny bit. Okay, tape me down. All right, now, I bet you've been waiting to see this. I actually had a friend of mine bet me you could not use a roller to stencil, and I proved her wrong. Okay, so we're gonna use a dry roller. We're gonna load paint, push it on in there. And then you have to come over here and you have to roll hard to offload. I'm gonna load again. I want the paint kind of squished into the roller. And then I'm gonna roll hard to offload. And then my pressure on the board is gonna be light pressure. Sometimes right up next to your edges, you might not get a clean line, but then you can just take a stencil brush and finish it. Okay, so there's the reveal. Okay, so then we'll just continue on. Ta-da! All right, as you are rolling off onto your paper towel, you might need to flip it over because you start getting more and more paint in your brush. So you might need to just have a little bit extra rolling off. And one of your clues will be if you put the brush down and start rolling and it covers really quickly, then you know you probably need to go offload. It will bleed under very easily if you're not careful. And don't be tempted to add more pressure. Okay, so keep your pressure light and just do thin layers. All right, so I have all of my letters on, and now I need to do some finishing if it's gonna go outside. So these leaner signs are meant for your porch. Never use, unless you want to, but never use a gloss or a satin varnish on something that's gonna go outside, because you'll get a lot of reflection and you won't be able to see, the words and the art on it, so you don't want the reflection. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use a roller, same way as the paint that I just did, and I'm going to roll on 3 coats of varnish. All right, you guys, what do you think of this? It is so amazing. The tile almost looks like it's like scroll flourishes or flowers or vines or something coming out of it. I think it just looks fantastic. I will be doing more things with tiles on tall porch signs. I hope you liked the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next video.